This isn't the sponsor of today's video, but if it was, I'd be very happy about that. One of the many things that me and Gab have in common is our shared love of music spanning across many different decades. I've got the vinyl collection over there to back that up as well. But we thought, rather than just always sitting and listening to our favourite songs, why don't we try and challenge ourselves to create a song inspired by each decade, starting with the 60s, then the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way up to the noughties. What are you doing?
What does it look like?
Doing your makeup?
Uh-huh.
Am I next?
Yeah, all the concealer for you.
All of it?
All of it, yeah.
I do need all of the concealer. I was just telling everyone about our new series.
Oh yeah?
What do you have to say about it?
Well, yeah, dead excited about it. Well, this week we are going to be writing a song based on 60s music.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've been listening to purely 60s music for about 2 weeks, and we found some new artists that we love. We've re-listened to some music that we didn't necessarily know. Well, obviously we knew that. Didn't necessarily know was from the 60s, so that was...
Or like started then.
Yeah, well,
you know,
started then.
69, where you always think of bands as 70s bands, and then, yeah.
Exactly. So, and then we asked your patrons, didn't we, as well, to suggest some of their favourite artists.
Yeah, we got some great suggestions.
So that was amazing. But I guess for me, the things I was most drawn to was the ones with like very sort of strong female vocals, like Dusty Springfield. Like, she's just like a goddess. And I loved a lot of these sort of orchestral stuff in her music. I thought it was very grand. Mm-hmm. So that was definitely something I was drawn to. Don't know about you.
I guess if you're a fan of this channel, you'll be able to predict my influences of the 60s, but to name a few, the Beach Boys, the Beatles, the Who, the Stones, the Doors, Kinks. I like the Monkees. I like Jefferson Airplane. I like the Byrds. I like Pink Floyd. I like the Hollies. I like Led Zeppelin. I like Hendrix. I'll be here all day. The list goes on, right? But we've created a playlist that
the one we've been listening to for the last 2 weeks, you'll have access to it.
Encompasses all of those eclectic inspirations, different artists, and also we've included suggestions from all my patrons, which we're super grateful for. So if you check the description, we've linked that below so you can listen to it. And then you can start your own series. And well, you can support us on tour, can't you, when we talk this album? You alright with that?
Yeah, whatever.
Good.
Good.
So if you like the sound of this series, then I suggest that you like and subscribe so that you don't miss all of the other episodes that are going to be coming up. 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties.
Right, I'm going out now.
You going?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, where you going? You going out?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Mystery for me. Does that mean I've just got to write a 60s banger while you're out?
Yeah.
Alright, I can see how this series is going. Me doing all the heavy lifting. Great. Something like that's been done 1,000 times before, though, you know, I think.
Yeah, but we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here.
Not trying to reinvent the wheel. I know, love. I'd literally picked up my Strat and I was just chucking together a few chords.
We're trying to make something we like.
Here I'm just literally playing random riffs. Don't like any of them.
Met him at the station.
Now these are
Took him back to my place.
from Gab's phone. They're literally just voice notes of her playing around with some chords that I showed her. Just D, A and G. And it meant that she could kind of go off, put whatever strum pattern she wanted over them and just come up with some lyrics and different melodies. And it's actually really nice listening back to these, knowing where the song goes.
All right, so the lyrics went through several drafts,
But to be fair, like the initial draft pretty much got everything down like as solid as I could, and it was only like the odd word or the odd line that changed. And it was more to do with like fitting it in the rhythm of the song, or yeah, maybe if there was a pre-chorus that was too short that needed lengthening or whatever, so we just added an extra line here and there.
Aubrey, I miss you, and I've not even met you yet.
And obviously Sped gave me the chords so I could kind of play along myself and figure out what those changes were. So I think it went through 3 drafts of lyrics. The initial one where the odd line tweaked, and then the final draft, which was kind of finalised maybe a few days before we recorded it.
Maybe we should just do a B-side. If we do a little vinyl of the song, Gab's acoustic version can be on the B. I get half the royalties, so you know, I'm not stupid. And then your lyrics coming in with...
Met him at the station, took him back to my place, in a state of undress, and there he was, inked on his skin.
You like that kind of thing?
Yeah.
You might love it, love, but unfortunately I've ripped off the rover there, subconsciously, and we can't be doing that because it hasn't even come out by the 60s. Jimmy plagiarism.
This, obviously the official term for this part, which I think is like I don't know, it's like the pre-chorus between the 2 first verses. I've put it needs to be stabby, but the proper musical term would probably be staccato.
Yeah, you know.
But it's whatever comes into my mind, just to make me remember how I sing it.
Yeah. It's so funny watching these clips back because I'm like, oh, you've almost got it. You've almost figured it out. The chorus has taken shape at this point, and I've got this kind of riff. But I do that every single time, and it only starts to click when I'm actually paying attention to Gab's vocal, because it needs to drop to the G the second time. And as soon as we figured that out, we were like, there's the chorus. You could kind of equate this workflow to an artist who's maybe sketching a character for the first time, with very rough pencil drawn shapes, figures with many, many lines. And then when they're certain, they'll go over it in pen and then add all the colour and the shading. So those voice notes of me and Gab jamming in the front room is very much the pencil sketch. Putting it into Logic as a rough demo is kind of like penned, everything in place, and then all the kind of colouring and the shading and the sort of detail is when I went in and tracked it. And then I guess rendering something like that, if it's like a digital character, is getting it mixed and then published, right? So yeah, it's funny listening back to this stuff because I forgot where it started, where it came from. We've had a lovely bit of help from a couple of different companies who like the idea of this series we're putting together. SE Electronics, amazing. They sent us out some microphones. Here we've got the Dynacaster, which I now use for my lessons and anytime I'm talking in front of the computer. They've also sent us out a VR1 ribbon microphone, but they sent us out a matched pair of the SE 4400s, and these are badass. I've done so much research into which microphones I thought would benefit us as musicians, regardless of kind of mimicking any era, any decade. And also a massive shout out to Toontrack, who have sorted us out with a load of expansion drum kit packs for Superior Drummer. I already bought and owned Superior Drummer 3, and I've been using that over the years loads for compositions myself. And if I'm like doing covers or recreating drums, demoing, it's my go-to and I love it. But they also do loads of expansion packs where they've mic'd up different famous drum kits from different decades in different studios, different rooms. What else could I possibly need when we're doing a series on recreating songs inspired by different decades? Here you can probably see project. I've not gone over the top. I usually do, but songs of this era didn't go over the top. They probably had an acoustic on the right, an electric on the left, and a banging vocal. So pressure's on Gab, really. Back in Black. It's not Back in Black. There's no way I'm getting that drum sound in my house without Toontrack, believe me. I decided to go with this Hansa vocal booth drum kit, and I used the preset called Tape Drive, which is one of Toontrack's presets within this drum kit. So this is the microphone I'm going to be using for the acoustic, SE 4400. And as you can see on the front, you've got a lot of flexibility, -10, -20, 0 dB. You've got 2 different roll-offs, high pass filters, and then different pole patterns for the microphone. One thing I will mention, I'm going into my Apollo 8 and I'm going to stick the UA610B Unison mic pre on that channel. I believe it is a 60s mic pre, and I think that will help kind of give me more of a vintage tone. Beethoven.
Literally sound like a year 7 fucking music lesson.
Generous, that.
Literally just started.
No, you've been she's been here for
in about fucking 10 years.
4.5 hours. I've been sat here listening, and this is what she's come up with. Come on, Elton John, give us a twiddle. Beautiful. Oh, I know it.
Okay, I missed it there, but...
No, you got it. I just want a little bit more brightness to it. I used to play the church organ back in primary school.
Is that a true story?
No, it's a massive lie.
We like the idea of an organ for 60s music. Like a gospel sound.
It was more of a whistle.
Yeah.
My favourite bit though now with the little overdub, you know where it goes pre-chorus.
Yeah. Woman's name.
But the second guitar part now, electric goes. That was really good, that one.
Yeah, sounded good.
I've just put it onto this AC20 Deluxe for the spiky kind of verse riffs. And I'm really not aiming for these to be like precise at all.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to stuff like your favourite songs from way back when, and you really hone in on like individual parts, that it's not like perfectly quantized, like the perfect take, but it is the perfect take, if you know what I mean, because it just sounds good.
Yeah, yeah.
And like it's played with feeling, and it's got vibes. So
It's got vibes.
you really like this, the next part, which is the pre-chorus. So over the, I've got two kind of like opposing guitars. One is
Yeah, because you know it's like vamping up to the chorus, right? Because it's like an unfinished phrase, so you know something's coming, which I love it.
for the bass. I'm going to use this Ampeg SVT3 Pro Unison plugin. Use my little short scale Jaguar bass. I love this bass. I love this bass. Two options for the final pre-chorus. I can play it normally. I could go off on one like John Paul Jones. I think I'll play it normally. Obviously, there's two guitar solos in Aubrey. The first one is pretty unique in its phrasing. It's quite funky. Got that kind of thing going on. And the second one is a little bit more conventional in the sense that it's a bit more soaring. But it took me ages to write them or to get something down at first, which then I ended up being unhappy with, and I went in time and time and time again. And sometimes you feel like you're not getting anywhere, and it's a waste of time. But it's not. Every little pass or solo or lick that I wrote that I kept or I changed was part of me solving the puzzle. You'll hear on the track, because I'm not going to ruin it, it goes off on one by itself at the end. But once I'd kind of found my feet with what was already there, I found it very easy to then kind of like modulate it. Basically, Gab was right. I didn't need to reinvent the wheel. She'd already given me the wheel. I just needed to roll it. Put my guitar on it and roll it. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of the song and the solo, because I'm pretty happy with both of them. I think they fit the song, and yeah, I'm proud of them. So we're doing your vocals now, the last thing to do.
Yeah.
This is our little vocal booth. I think we might back you onto the curtain so that you sing out into the room.
Oh, good
with
idea.
the curtains behind you.
So we're just going for a take for the first verse?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it.
Get it all done. We'll be finished today.
Yay!
Do you want your lights like dimmed at all?
Yeah, slightly.
Well, I did set you up a dimmer, didn't I?
Yeah. We need the vibe. That's fine. That's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, lovely. Lovely.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
found you in a photo. Long blonde hair and deep blue eyes. I know he still wants you. Can't say I'm too surprised. Aubrey, I miss you.
Oh, okay. I think one more and move on.
One more, yeah.
I think my favourite's probably like number 4.
Okay. So we're on our way down to where?
You don't know?
I do know.
Go on then, where are we going?
Tilehouse Studio
Yeah, you got it.
in I want to say Danbury, but that's Bridgerton.
Lady Danbury.
Lady Danbury. It said Denham, that's it, in Denham. A quaint little village. So we're on our way down there to basically master, is that right?
Mix and
Mix.
Master Aubrey.
Mix and master Aubrey. This is the first time I've done anything like this. But yeah, we're working with a guy called Oldfield. And yeah, we're excited to see how the day is going to go. The aim is just to get it sounding as good as possible and as much like a sort of 60s inspired song as we possibly can. So, wish us luck.
We need to find a common home for you and me and maybe someone more. Give me affection, please. I feel the need to speak my mind, and baby, you're one of a kind. Give me affection, please. It's off the wall, but beautiful. Whatever you need, it's all okay with me. See how it goes, it's rock and roll. But whatever you need, it's all okay with me.
So that's like, you can hear that's distorting, right?
Yeah.
That's on maximum. You don't really want to do that. But that just shows that what we're doing through the kite, which is made by thermionic culture,
Okay.
is it's got this great attitude button which helps flesh out a mix
Okay,
with
cool.
harmonic distortion. I don't want to muck around with the settings because I spent some time setting them up yesterday, but we've got a bass boost at 140 Hz, a top lift at, I can't see what that says, 700 Hz, and then this air function, which is basically, if you have it really low, you can't really tell what it does. Well, I can't anyway. So,
Okay.
But it's a top shelf, like a really high top shelf, so it gives the mix some air.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's on the mix bus for Aubrey, because we're going for a 60s kind of sound.
Yeah.
Wanted to kind of bring it to life a bit more. So that's just the spring. So behind the mixing desk there's a box with a
Oh, is
a
that
spring in it, and I think I put a little bit on. Yeah.
I like to meet you.
Dry.
Aubrey.
What you've done, I was like, they're sitting really nicely.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I thought we could, because it's a matter of taste, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we could tweak that today if we need to. It's better to be in the same room. So yeah, there's a little bit of spring on the acoustic guitar and a little bit on the snare. This is basically dry. So I felt like it needed parallel compression, which is that. And then I thought it'd be nice to try and put it in like a bit more of a room. So that's with a room emulation around it.
Yeah.
You take the room off, you room on, you know what I mean? Bit of space around it.
Yeah. Oh.
Lots of guitars, obviously. I really like that one. That reminds me of like T-Rex or something,
I like the way this is all sounding as well.
I had it kind of clean, and then I listened to your reference, and I was like, well, he's the guitarist, so he's going to want it to sound like a little bit more, not epic, but you know what I mean.
It's on the edge now. Like.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why I thought I put those effects on it, and I was like, is that too much? And I thought, well, you can decide. So yeah, if you got any notes, we can just
Yeah, cool.
go
Yeah.
through them.
I think, did you make the notes on your?
Yeah, I've got them here.
There's some like higher electric guitar inversions where I slide up.
And say I'm too surprised.
trying to get the reverb just the right length, you know.
For the drop.
Not hanging on too long, but you know.
Yeah, we were like, it was kind of that kind of stuff takes the longest to do, because we were like, do we just want one big note, or are we gonna do some vibrato? Are we gonna try really hard to hold it? And then when as soon as you put the harmony on it, it was like,
I couldn't care less, so I took him back to my place. In a state of undress, and there it was, inked on its skin. Another woman's name. Another woman's name.
it's nice to hear your workflow of that there, because I often try to get there and fail. So
I thought it actually sounded quite good in your reference mix.
No, he still wants you. Can't say I'm too surprised. Aubrey, I'm
yeah, okay, so it's just no harmonies then, isn't it? I like that. I think it sounds boss.
Cool. Okay, we'll set the tape machine set up, but we'll print it to tape, and then you can see if you can tell the difference. It says BBC resources on it, so I think the BBC, for the Commonwealth Games.
Oh wow!
At a certain point, might have been in Manchester actually. They custom ordered these machines. So normally an A80 RC Mark II, which is what this is, wouldn't have this bit on the front, but for some reason it does. It's quite handy because I can actually control, if I flick that, I can control the tape machine from the mixing desk, which is kind of neat.
Oh wow!
Just saves me walking across the room. So yeah, quite pleased with it. It needed a little bit of work, but not too much. Actually, there were just a couple of little bits, like this bit was missing, which holds the tape in place. So
I guess that's pretty important.
You know what? I just tried using it without it for ages, until a friend of mine started using the studio, and I was like, well, I don't want him to be using the studio, and then the reel sort of flies off and hits someone or something. So, but yeah, it's quite important, but actually it worked without it perfectly fine for like 10 years.
It'd be a weird insurance claim to see, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I
hit by a flying reel from the 80s.
I didn't want to risk it, because the tapes go pretty fast when they are moving, so you could just imagine it like flying.
Oh wow, they do, don't they?
And whacking someone in the head.
Frisbee to the face.
So for the sake of like 10 quid, this little thing holds it in place.
Yeah.
Which has been 3D printed by somebody. So it's all set up. We're going to print the mix to tape, and I've set it up so that the mix that we've done in Pro Tools is going to be printed to tape, but what we'll be listening back to will be the output of the tape machine.
Okay.
took me a while to get him talking. Sensed his impatience.
Best bit.
I'm so used to that.
It's the Commonwealth Games or Doctor Who, right? They could have been using it for that.
Before you guys came, I was thinking about how to explain how tape might affect the sound, and it's basically tape compression is the main thing, and people might refer to that as warmth or glue. So that's where you've got, for a drum kit, the kick and the snare, the transient, so the loudest bits will get compressed slightly by the tape where the tape gets saturated. But then also tape machines have different frequency curves. So the idea behind tape is what or any recording device or converters, is what you put in should be the same as what you hear coming out of the converters or the tape machine. But the slight quirk with tape is two things, which is each tape machine you can calibrate a tape machine, so that's, you can set the EQ response, but you've only got particular calibration points, so you don't have control over the whole frequency. So a tape machine will have its own slightly different, potentially, EQ curves, but also the tape formula that you use as well will have an impact in terms of frequency response. So normally you'd see, like, if you had really high frequencies, those would tend to get a little bit softer. And you can often get, on Studer machines, you can often get a little bass bump at around 100 hertz. But, you know, it depends how the machines have been set up. But there's 2 ways that the sound can be affected. Tape compression and maybe a bit of EQ as well.
It sounds like a lot softer than in the best way, and it sounds almost live a little bit as well.
Yeah, it brings it to life by, I don't know, like if you've got a fully digital mix, you've got so much detail, whereas the tape gives it a character. So there's obviously like a
grade on a photograph.
A toss up between, exactly. Yeah, that's how I've explained it to people sometimes. It's like if you've got a digital photo, if you zoom in, keep zooming, even if you might have to zoom into like a ridiculous level of detail, you're going to get a pixel at some point. Yeah. Whereas if you've got a film, a photo which has been printed from film, you're not going to get pixels. That's kind of a metaphor.
Okay.
Aubrey's finished. Mixed, mastered. Obviously, you've just seen that by Luke Oldfield at Tilehouse Studios. Super nice guy, super talented engineer. It was really fun that day out.
Yeah, like we just kind of went there and had no idea what to expect, and he was just great, wasn't he? He was just like super friendly, super open to like hearing our notes and thoughts, and it was great. It was really good fun.
You've never been in a studio like that before?
No, I've never done that before. So yeah.
You enjoy it?
I did, yeah. Just like hearing the intricacies, and like obviously he is a master of his craft, and you can like so tell just by like the subtleties of like some of the changes he made to the mix. It was really amazing, and obviously like hearing it go through the tape as well, that was like mental.
And rewinding the tape.
And rewinding the tape, yeah.
I'm very proud of you, because it's like your first time singing and writing like a top line like that, and then it's been recorded and then gone to a studio. Yeah. Very proud of you.
Thank you. We decided to release the track under an artist name rather than our own names. So you can find it under the artist name Stray Familiar.
There is a little meaning behind that.
There's a little meaning behind
Those that know
us
will know why. But yeah, it's for us, it kind of makes sense to just have an artist name rather than our own names, because it just looks better, and it's so hard to try and figure out a band name nowadays.
That's decent. They've all gone, yeah.
You know, you might as well just have a number like 17553 because I'm at the point where I just think it doesn't matter anymore. 2 words that mean something to us that happened to not already be a band name, so it worked out. But yeah, I just want to do a massive thank you, by the way, not like we've won an award or, or anything, just to the people that helped make this happen. So SE Electronics for sending out all the mics that we recorded, guitars, vocals and other stuff through. Toontrack for sending us some of their drum kits that were suitable through the decades and the MIDI packs. And as well, the patrons and channel supporters on YouTube that continue to support me, us, this channel, keeps us in this house and keeps us in business, which means that we can spend more time doing stuff like this. So if you enjoyed it, I talk a lot, don't I? If I enjoyed it, I did enjoy it. Did you enjoy it?
Oh my God, go on.
Oh,
you enjoyed it, please, like, subscribe, all that jazz, basically.
Oh yeah, see, look at that.
All that jazz.
Not an actor, all that jazz. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, bell next. I make a lot of lists.
You do.
Bell next to it. And yeah, we'll do this again sometime soon. Hopefully, it'll be a lot quicker than this first one was. And a little bit less stressful.
It will, because we know what we're doing now.
Proud of you. Bye.